Hi friends, I'm just having a little bit of technical difficulty here. Give me a second. Oh, I guess this isn't going to work. Well, I didn't realize that my phone didn't charge last night, and I thought I grabbed the right charging cord to bring in here. Give me a commercial break, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I think I have the right charging cord now. Obviously, I wasn't very prepared because I didn't have my iPad in here either. Let me see if this one will. Okay, there we go. That works. Now I just need to plug it in. And try to get this cord so it's not in the way. I think we've got it. Yay. Okay. Well, now that we got that situated, let me see if I can bring it up on my iPad so that I can see who's here, who's putting up with my antics today. While I'm doing that, I think you can see here that I am going to be playing with the Jar of Joy stamp set and the Sweet Jar Builder Punch. There is another stamp set that goes with that you can get in a bundle, the Sweet Jar and the Sweet Jar Builder. And then you can add on that stamp set. Okay, let me make sure. I had the volume turned way up on this, so we don't need that yelling at us. And there it is. I think we're in business now. Hi, Danita. Okay. So I've got my little card ready to do here. Let's get started. So I've got a crumb cake colored card base today, which is like a craft color, and I love that. There's actually you can see little fibers in this paper. So I always love using this. It kind of gives you that homespun sort of feel. All right, so I've pre-cut out some things using past dies that have retired. So I'm hoping, I guess my suggestion is when Stampin' Up! Comes out with these really cool staple type dies that you just will want to have in your collection and not get rid of at some point. And they're on the online exclusive. Don't wait to get them because the online exclusive things are just available while supplies last. And it's usually the online exclusive things that are my favorite things. So they then disappear quickly. Anyway, today I'm using the deckled rectangles and the deckled circles, both of which are not around anymore, but these are ones I will be keeping in my stash forever. Look how many dies that you get in each of these sets. So I'm hoping if you loved them that you were able to get them while they were available. I cut 2 of the rectangles and I cut 2 of the circles. The circles I cut from Mango Melody, which is also a color that they have retired. So I'm using some new and old today. All right, so one of these pieces I'm going to run through the, where is it? It's right here somewhere. There it is. I'm going to run it through the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. This is still available. I love this embossing folder. And this, yeah, like I said, it is a 3D one, so you will want to make sure that you are using whatever die cutting machine that you have. Use the right sandwich for the recommendation for 3D embossing folders. I'm going to run this through my machine and I'll be right back. So here we have it, and that is what it looks like. So cute. Okay, so we have that little piece done. I think we'll do some stamping next. And I'm just stamping on some basic white cardstock here. And I have the jar already mounted on a block. And I'm going to stamp that out with some Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm just going to stamp out 2 of them. Let me see. I want to, yeah, I'll stamp it down towards the bottom here. You always kind of want to look at your punch to see how it's laid out because this cuts out the jar and the lid. So you have to kind of know when you're stamping things on the paper how it's laid out so that you won't be cutting into your image accidentally, like with the lid part. Okay, so there's the jars. And the lid, all these plugins are in my way now. I'm going to stamp the lid with Real Red. And I need to get that out of the stamp case. This is a 2-step stamp set, by the way. So you get the part that colors everything in, and then you get the outline parts. So it's kind of fun. Less coloring you have to do. I'm still going to do a little bit of coloring today, but not a whole lot. Okay, so Real Red. And I am going to I'm trying to decide here what I want to do. I think actually what I'm going to do is go ahead, let me set that aside, and I'm just going to go ahead and, no, I don't want to do that. I need to do my lid first. So I think I'm going to, yeah, so turn it this way. There we go. That should work. Let me get that ink off my stamp real quick. Okay. If I would have stamped them turned around the other way, then it would have been messed up for me to try to punch them out first. I would have been punching into the jar. Okay, so there's my two little lids, and I think before I get too carried away, I'm going to finish stamping my scenes in my jars. So let me pull this back. I want the little snowman. And I'm going to stamp him with black. Cute. Now you can see he's missing some lines. We're going to take care of that. And that is what the two-step part is about this stamp. It's a scarf and the little band for his hat. So I am going to stamp those with garden green. The reason I chose garden green is because I've got a piece of background paper here, and this is from the Christmas Tags and More paper pack, and that's the color of green that's on that I'm going to be using. So I'm just coordinating a little bit. Okay, so now you just need to, I can't get right over the top of it because everything with the equipment's in my way, but I'm going to do the best I can here to line this up. I think it worked, by golly. So cute. Okay, so there's that. And let me get this put up so I don't stick my fingers in it. And we'll move on to the next jar, and I'm going to do the cute little ornaments. I did a card once before with the gingerbread man, so if you're interested in that, you didn't see it, you can go back in the list of videos and find that one. And I'm going to stamp these out with the Real Red. And I want to get the strings all the way up to the top there. Cute. Okay, so I pulled out some of my blends markers here. Where'd my lids go? Here they are. Because really, I wanted to color those before I cut them out too, but hey, we can do it now. So I'm going to use the light and dark of Real Red, which is the color that I stamped them with. I have a glass jar, kind of like this actually, and the metal lid on it is red, so that's why I'm always wanting to do them with red, but I have seen the lids cut out of foil paper, like gold foil paper or silver, and that looks really cute. But you can make them whatever color you want. And then I'm just going to come back in with the dark and just give it a little bit of personality here. I always tell you I'm no color expert, but I just have fun with it, that's all. So if you are an expert at the shading and all that, I'm always in awe of people that can do that. Okay, so there, those are ready. And then I'm gonna take Light Pool Party. Oh, I pulled my whole marker apart. Let's just put that back together. Probably time for me to put a little Gorilla Glue in there so that doesn't happen again. Okay, so I'm gonna go around the edges on the inside here of the jar just to give it a little bit of shading. You know how when you look at glass or snow or whatever, there's always sort of that blue shading to it, especially snow, but glass also. You just see that blue when it's clear. And this color works well for doing that. And again, it is the Light Pool Party. So I'm just going to take it around my little snowman also. Put a little shadow under here in the snow. Do it up here. And then I'm going to do it also on this jar, even though I'm not putting snow in here. We still want that shading for the glass part. Okay, so there's that, and then I'm going to give him a little orange carrot nose. Such a tiny spot. So there's that. And then these over here, I've got Dark Daffodil Delight that I'm going to color in on this star. Oh, I should have used the tiny tip because I'm getting outside of the lines. But no worries, I've got my magic color lifter there that I can fix that with. Okay, so I'm going to do those two like that. Let me fix my boo-boos. Got a little carried away. Okay, hopefully that'll take care of it once it's dry. Now with the other little bauble there, I'm going to color it in with dark Granny Apple Green. Okay, I think we're done with that. Now I can punch those out. Actually, I'm going to come back in and add some. There's a stamp to add snow, so I'm going to do that with the snowman. And it is this little one right here, and I'm going to stamp that also in the color of Pool Party. I hope you are all having a wonderful day today. So cute. I'm just kind of laying parts of the stamp down. I'm not laying it all the way flat. That way I can get all the little dots right where I want them. Let me hold that up so you can see. And I'm going to come back at the end and put some sparkle on that stuff. I need to go back over this a little bit. I have some, my color just wanted to bleed a little bit. I'm going to leave it with that and hope for the best. Okay, so those are done. I've got my piece embossed. I've got my piece here for the inside because I used that decal. It was the largest of the rectangle decals to do the inside also. And I'm going to stamp the inside with Wishing You the Sweetest Christmas. And I'm going to stamp that with red, real red. Cute. Okay, and then I trimmed off the tiniest little edge from this, and I'm just going to glue that on the bottom there for a little bit of fun on the inside. Oh, while I am doing this, I will let you know that next Thursday I won't be on. I have a dental appointment out of town, so yay me. Okay, let's see. Let me get this. Okay, so there is the inside ready. So all in all, once you have your card design, this card goes together pretty fast if you wanted to make multiples. It's always just getting the design of a card that takes forever. I've got all these things, these cords going on, knocking stuff off now. Okay, so I'm going to use my Misty here. I've got my greeting stamp already in here, and I'm going to heat emboss it. So I'm gonna use my little powder bag here to wipe off my, it's called an anti-static. And I know it's baby powder because you can smell it. Okay. So that just keeps the embossing powder from sticking to where maybe your fingerprints or whatever was on the paper if you haven't done that before. So my stamp's on the lid here. I'm going to ink it up with some Versamark, if I can get a hold of it. Okay, let me see if I got it good enough there. Looks like it. You probably can't see it on there, but I can see it. And that ink is going to stay sticky long enough for me to get my embossing powder on. So I'm just embossing it with some white embossing powder. Wiping off any little stray bits. Okay, it's going to get noisy. Sending a jar full of cheer. Alrighty, so let me see if I can trim this to be about the same length on each end. That looks maybe not quite, but close enough, I say. Let me get a tissue so I can wipe my fingers, but also get that excess powder off of there. And then I brought out my little Happy Labels punch here, and I am going to put that in the slot. This cuts out 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and inch wide pieces of cardstock. There we go. And it will just give these ends a cute little design. So there you can see. All right, so that's ready. Now the circles here that I cut out with Mango Melody, I've got the same color of ink and my little finger dauber. And I'm just going to go around the edges here. I was browsing through Pinterest and I saw a card design that was using the More Than Autumn stamp set. Now that stamp, well, okay, the bundle of the stamp and die set is on the last chance list. The dies alone are on the last chance list. The stamps, as far as I could see, I looked through everything. The stamp set was not on the last chance set, list by itself. So that is kind of weird to me because the dies, you know, you really want the dies. But check it out if you're interested. That's the cute little set that's got all the, it's got lots of stamps in it. It's got the latte cup and the slice of pie and whipped cream and little gingerbread man and candy canes. It's just a really cute set. So if you are interested in that set, get it before it's gone. The link to my shop, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, will be in the description box below. Okay, I'm going to grab my crumb cake and I'm going to ink the edges of the card too. But the reason why I was bringing that up is that I saw a really cute card on Pinterest, and that is what gave me the idea for this card today. I just changed it up quite a bit from what that card was, but you know, it's a great place to go to get inspiration to kickstart your ideas for card making. All right, so there is that. I think I'm ready to get this put together. So here's our little embossed layer, and I'm going to get that put on. When you're adhering your embossed edges, you always, layers, you always want to put a little extra adhesive on because some of your paper is popped up and not completely touching the surface of what you're adhering it to. So it just is a good idea to add a little extra adhesive in there, especially if you're not using a liquid glue. Okay, so there we are with that, and then I'm going to put this piece on. Now you can make this as skinny or as wide as you want. This was just left over in that paper pack. I didn't really even measure it. It's 1 3/4 inches wide, and it's longer than my card, so I'll be trimming it off. But I thought, you know, there it is. It's already kind of what I wanted, so why not just go ahead and use that instead of cutting another piece of paper. So that is why I grabbed this. Okay, so I am going to not put it right in the middle, but I do want it flush up against the edge over here so that I can try to make it as straight as possible going across. That looks pretty good to me. And then I'm just going to trim it off from the back side. It's easier to see what you're doing that way. There we go. Alrighty, so now let me flip these over. Let's see, no, never mind, forget I said that. I'm going to add glue to these. It's the jars that I'm going to add dimensionals to. Okay, so however you put your first circle on, then you can gauge, you know, how far to come in on the other side to kind of make them even. Looks like two big yellow eyeballs. Okay, so there's that. I think I lost, oh no, there they are. I was gonna say, I think I lost the lids to my jars, but I didn't. They're right there. So let me glue them on before I do lose them. Now keep in mind with these jars, whether you get this Christmassy set or the other one. This one you can put jelly beans in, clovers, hearts, birthday candles, confetti, whatever. And this is the same jar. The lid's a little bit different, but you can put anything in these jars. It doesn't have to be from either one of those stamp sets. Whatever you want to fill these jars up with, you can. Okay, so those are ready. I'm just going to grab some dimensionals here. Be cute to put flowers inside. There's just so many things. It's endless, really. You could put a fish in one. Whatever you want. Look how those designs came through on the back from me coloring over them with the alcohol markers. Does that look even? I'm not going to push it down yet. Looks pretty good. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up also. So I need to get the inside put on and still do some embellishing. Okay, there's that. And then I've got my cute little peppermints. These are the real red and white adhesive back peppermints. I love these things. I need to order some more. It's just one of those ones that you always want to have around. So there's 3 sizes on here. I'm going to use the small and the medium. Cute. And then I have some Stardust stickles. And I'm just going to dot this around amongst the snow that I already stamped. Just to give it some sparkle. And try not to, after I do this, stick my fingers in it. And then I'm going to put some right in the middle of these ornaments here and on the hearts. And there is our card. So you may or may not like the color of circles that I put on there, but I did it to kind of pop out the color that I used on the ornaments. But I just kind of like it. It's bright and cheerful and fun, I think, but you could certainly make them whatever color that you wanted. Yeah, I smeared this. I forgot that I did it earlier today, and yeah, typical me. But you know what? It's going to be fine. Okay, so story time now is out of a little book of Zen. Memory is incomplete experience. That doesn't sound quite right. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, but I do like the artwork. While walking, examine the walking. While sitting, the sitting. And that just says it's a Zen saying. Reality has no inside, outside, or middle part. Not to have any desire whatsoever, that is the way. Really? That's cute though, look at that monkey. Mere suffering exists, but no sufferer is found. The deeds are, but no doer is found. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Among the most remarkable features characterizing Zen, we find these: spirituality, directness of expression, disregard of form or conventionalism, and frequently an almost wanton delight in going astray from respectability. By D.T. Suzuki. Okay, we will read this one and stop. When the student is ready, the master appears. And that is a Japanese Buddhist proverb. Cool picture there. I have got a ton of Asian themed stamps, and I made my sister Charlene a Asian themed altered book one time, and it was really fun, and I thought it turned out pretty cool. And I put all kinds of fun things off of like placemats from the Chinese restaurant, and I went and bought a book at well, I went in the used bookstore and highly insulted the lady that ran the bookstore because I told her what I was looking for, and that it was just a book that I was going to be tearing up to create art with, and she didn't like that at all, so I didn't end up buying anything there. And I went to a thrift store then instead of a bookstore and found a book that was all Asian artwork and stuff, so I was able to find stuff in there, but it was fun to put it together and do the cover and everything. So that is that. I hope you like these little Christmas cards, and don't be afraid to play with non-traditional colors, I guess. This has some of each traditional and non-traditional, I would guess. Okay, have a great rest of the week, and I hope you get to do something crafty over the weekend. Thank you, Danita. And don't forget, I won't be here live next week. Maybe I will try to come on that weekend. We'll see. And so that is that. Take care, and I will see you in my next video. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.